Have you ever felt like you're standing on the outside, watching the world unfold in ways that don't quite make sense to you? Have you ever looked around and wondered why it feels like everyone else has it all figured out, while you're left with this deep, unshakable feeling that you're meant for something more? If so, you're not alone. There are millions of people who feel the same way, and there's one truth that binds them together. They've always known that their lives were destined for more than just following the ordinary script. Maybe you've had moments where you felt that invisible force pulling you towards something greater. Perhaps you've brushed it off as just your imagination running wild. But what if I told you that feeling, that sense of being different, isn't a sign of weakness or delusion? It's a sign that you're waking up to the truth about who you truly are. You see, there are those who go through life on autopilot, following the traditional steps: school, job, family, retirement. For them, the world is just a series of steps to be checked off. But for others, the journey is far more complicated. You might be one of those people who feel restless, as though you've been called to break free from the conventional path. If you're still reading this, chances are you are one of the few who has the courage to embrace their uniqueness, to wake up from the slumber that most people never even notice. This isn't a mistake. It's your invitation to step into your true power. This journey you're about to embark on, it's the one that was always meant for you, even if you haven't fully realized it yet. So, take a deep breath and allow yourself to embrace what's next. Step 1. Realizing your uniqueness. Think back to your childhood. Do you remember a time when you felt out of place, even in a crowd of people who seemed to get along just fine? I do. I remember standing in the middle of a room full of people, listening to conversations that felt so distant from the way I perceived the world. I always felt different, more aware, more sensitive to things that others didn't even notice. At times, it made me feel isolated, but looking back, I see it wasn't a flaw. It was a sign. There's this subtle feeling that many of us carry, especially in our younger years. The feeling of being an outsider. We question things that others take for granted. We feel emotions deeply, sometimes to the point of overwhelm. We sense that something bigger is out there, something waiting for us, but we're unsure of what that is. If you've ever felt that way, you are not alone, and you are certainly not mistaken. The world around us is designed to make people fit into neat boxes, get an education, find a stable job, settle down, retire. But you were never meant to be a cog in that machine. The very fact that you feel different, that you question things, that you sense the world in a way that others don't, is proof that you're meant for something bigger. You've been given a unique gift, a gift that may have felt more like a burden at times. But in reality, it's your greatest strength. Think of those quiet moments of clarity, when something inside you just knew that you were meant to do something different. Maybe it was a fleeting thought, or maybe it was a burning desire that you couldn't ignore. Those moments are the universe's way of calling you to embrace your uniqueness. That restlessness, that feeling of not fitting in, it's not a flaw, it's a sign that you're meant to break the mold. Embrace it. Your path will not look like everyone else's. But that's exactly why it's meant to be your journey. Why is your life so difficult? Have you ever found yourself asking, why is this so hard? I know I've asked myself this question more times than I can count. It feels like the weight of the world is always on your shoulders, and while others seem to cruise through life with little resistance, you're facing obstacles at every turn. Life feels difficult, unfair, and sometimes downright painful. You're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. The truth is, your struggles are not random. They are not a punishment, nor are they an indication that you're doing something wrong. Transformation is never easy. Think about a sword being forged. It doesn't become strong and sharp without going through intense heat and pressure. Your life, too, is shaping you into something greater. The very challenges you face are the crucible in which your character, strength, and resilience are being forged. There were times in my life when I questioned everything, why I faced so many heartbreaks, failures, and setbacks when others seemed to glide through without a scratch. But with every difficulty, I began to understand that these experiences weren't just random misfortunes. They were all part of a process, an awakening. The universe doesn't waste time testing those who will remain ordinary. It tests those who are destined for greatness. If life has been particularly hard for you, it's because you've been chosen to break free from the limitations that society, fear, and self-doubt have placed on you. You're being shaped for something extraordinary. So the question isn't, why is life so difficult? The real question is, what am I being prepared for? When you start to see your struggles as part of your growth, you begin to understand that every obstacle is a stepping stone toward the life you are meant to create. Embrace the challenges, because they are preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. If you're facing the storm, it's because you have the strength to change the weather. You were never meant to sit on the sidelines. You were meant to rise above the storm, to face it head-on, and to use it to fuel your transformation. Embrace the difficulty. Embrace the process. It's all leading you to your awakening. And when you get through it, you'll find that you've emerged stronger, more aware, and more alive than ever before. You may have spent years doubting your place in this world, wondering why things have always felt harder for you than they seem to be for others. But what if this is exactly how it's meant to be? What if every hardship, every struggle, has been a part of a bigger plan, one that's shaping you into the person you were always meant to become? The truth is, your path will never be easy, but it will be worth it. And if you're ready to embrace your uniqueness, to understand the purpose behind your struggles, and to walk the path that only you were meant to walk, then get ready. Your journey is just beginning. Embrace it. The world is waiting for the person you are becoming, and the best part, you were always meant to be this person. Breaking illusions, facing the truth. Have you ever felt that nagging sense that something about the world just isn't right? Like you've been given a set of rules to follow, but no one has ever explained why they exist in the first place. I know I've had moments of clarity where everything around me seemed like an illusion, this false reality that we've all been conditioned to accept. The truth is, we're often taught to follow a prescribed path without ever questioning it. From the moment we're born, we're conditioned to fit into a system that doesn't nurture our true potential. It just teaches us to comply, to conform, and to stay within the lines. Growing up, I remember feeling this strange tension. On one hand, I was expected to go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, and follow the rules. But on the other hand, I felt something pulling me in a different direction, something that told me there was more to life than just this monotonous routine. I started asking questions. Why does everyone chase after money? Why do we seek approval from people who barely understand us? Why do we keep pursuing success only to end up feeling empty? These weren't just questions, they were cracks in the illusion I had been living under. I started to see the world differently. The pursuit of money, status, and approval, it all felt like a giant distraction. People around me were chasing after these things, thinking they were the keys to happiness. Yet deep down, they were just as lost as I was. This realization was powerful. It was like waking up from a long, deep sleep. The system we live in isn't designed to set us free. It's designed to keep us asleep, to keep us stuck in a cycle of doing things that we don't truly care about. And the moment you begin to question it, the moment you stop blindly following the rules, everything changes. The walls begin to crack. What you once believed to be true starts to fall apart. But that's when the real awakening happens. You start to see the world as it truly is, a place full of infinite possibilities, a world where your potential isn't limited by societal norms. Breaking illusions isn't easy. It's a challenge to let go of everything you've been taught to believe about success, happiness, and what it means to live a fulfilling life. But the moment you allow yourself to see beyond the illusion, you begin to realize that you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to wake up. And when you do, that's when the real journey begins. Where does true power come from? We've all been taught that power is something external, that it comes from wealth, status, influence, or control over others. It's easy to believe this when you look at the world around you. The people in power often seem to have everything: money, influence, and the ability to bend the world to their will. But what if I told you that the true source of power doesn't come from anything external at all? What if the greatest power lies within you, waiting to be awakened? I didn't always understand this. For a long time, I thought power came from controlling my circumstances, from gaining approval, and from acquiring material things. But the more I pursued these things, the emptier I felt. I remember being in a meeting once, surrounded by successful people with impressive titles, discussing big ideas, but something felt off. There was no real sense of fulfillment. The power that seemed so prominent in that room wasn't genuine. It was fleeting. It was based on external validation and control. True power, I've come to realize, doesn't come from controlling others or acquiring things. It's not something you take, it's something you awaken within yourself. The most powerful moments in my life have been the ones when I trusted myself, when I let go of fear and followed my inner voice, even when it didn't make sense. There's a certain strength that comes from knowing who you are, from having the courage to follow your own path, even when it feels uncertain. True power is found in self-mastery. It's in the ability to stand firm when everything around you is falling apart. It's knowing that no external force can define you, and once you tap into this inner power, you realize that you don't need permission to be powerful. You don't need to chase external validation. You just need to remember who you are and trust that the strength to face whatever comes your way has always been inside of you. The test of emotions, love, pain, and growth. Why does it feel like you're so much more in tune with your emotions than others? Why does love feel so intense and pain hit so deep? If you've ever felt like you were drowning in your emotions, you're not alone. But the truth is, your emotions aren't just random reactions. They are messages, powerful, profound messages that are guiding you toward growth. When I was younger, I often found myself overwhelmed by my emotions. I could feel everything: love, pain, joy, sadness so deeply that it often felt like I was too much, like I was carrying the weight of the world. I'd see others around me, seemingly unaffected by the same things that tore me apart, and I'd wonder why I was so different. But over time, I began to understand something important. My emotions weren't weaknesses. They were signs. They were guiding me. Love isn't just about romance. It's the force that connects you to your higher self, to the deepest part of you that knows exactly who you are and what you're meant to do in this world. And pain is the teacher that no one asks for, but everyone needs. It's through our pain that we grow, that we learn to let go of what no longer serves us and embrace who we are becoming. Every heartbreak, every loss, every betrayal, it's not here to break you, it's here to shape you. The deepest growth often comes from the most painful experiences. In those moments when everything feels like it's falling apart, that's when the real work begins. The test of your emotions is not about avoiding the pain or the heartbreak. It's about feeling it all, letting it wash over you, and learning from it. Because only those who have truly felt can truly heal. So, don't numb yourself. Don't run from your emotions, no matter how painful they may seem. Feel everything. Let love fill you, let pain shape you, and let your emotions guide you to the person you are meant to become. It's in those moments of vulnerability and raw emotion that your true strength is revealed. And when you come out on the other side, you'll realize that you are stronger, wiser, and more alive than you've ever been before. The journey you're on isn't easy. It's not meant to be. But it is necessary. You've been given the gift of awakening, the opportunity to break free from the illusions that have kept you small and to discover the true source of your power. You've been tested by love, pain, and everything in between, and now it's time to step into your full potential. Your emotions are not your enemy, they are your guides. Your true power isn't found in external achievements, it's found within. So trust yourself, embrace your emotions, and remember, your journey is not just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about awakening to the truth that you've always known deep down. You are meant for something extraordinary. Awakening your mission. You are here for a reason. Have you ever had a moment in your life when everything suddenly clicked into place? Maybe it was a fleeting realization that your purpose, the reason you're here, was always with you. Or maybe you've been struggling for years, unsure of why you're here or what your life truly means. I know I have. For years, I lived as though I was just going through the motions, existing in a world that seemed to make sense to everyone else, but felt empty to me. I was doing the right things, getting the job, keeping up appearances, following the expected path, but none of it resonated with me on a deeper level. It wasn't until I started questioning everything, letting go of the things I thought I was supposed to do, that I began to understand something incredible. There was a deeper purpose behind it all, a calling I had been ignoring, distracted by the noise of the world around me. Awakening to my mission didn't happen all at once. It was a slow unfolding, a series of realizations that hit me in quiet, unassuming moments. But once I woke up to it, I couldn't ignore it any longer. I remember sitting alone one night, feeling an overwhelming sense of emptiness. I had everything society told me would make me happy: good job, relationships, financial stability. Yet something was missing. It wasn't until I allowed myself to feel that emptiness that the truth started to surface. I realized that I had been living someone else's life. I was following a script that wasn't mine. My true mission, my purpose, was hidden under layers of self-doubt and fear. And that's when it hit me: we're all here for a reason. No one is a mistake. We all have a unique mission, something only we can fulfill. But the challenge is, it's easy to get lost in the noise, to get distracted by what others think you should do, and to forget what your heart truly desires. Awakening to your mission is not a destination. It's a process of peeling away all the false beliefs, the expectations, and the distractions that have been placed upon you. It's about reconnecting with the deepest parts of yourself, the parts that know exactly why you're here. For me, the awakening didn't come with a clear vision of what to do next. Instead, it came with the understanding that I was enough just as I was. The mission wasn't something to be achieved in the future. It was something I had to embrace right now, in the present moment. And it was a beautiful realization. My mission was not a far-off goal to be chased, but a truth to be discovered with. Your mission, too, is something already inside you. It's your natural essence, waiting to be expressed. You don't need to search for it outside yourself. It's always been with you. But to truly awaken to this mission, you must let go of the fear that tells you you're not enough, that you don't deserve success or happiness. You must silence the voices that try to convince you that you're not capable of achieving your dreams. The truth is, you are more than capable. You are here for a reason, and the world is waiting for you to step into your power. Living as your true self, there's a deep, quiet longing inside all of us. It's the call to live authentically, to be ourselves without apology. But for many of us, that call is muffled by years of conditioning, societal expectations, and the need for approval from others. We spend so much time trying to fit in, trying to conform to a version of ourselves that doesn't even feel real, that we forget who we really are. I've been there. I've worn the masks, played the roles, and pretended to be someone I wasn't in order to fit into a world that wasn't meant for me. Living as your true self isn't just about doing what makes you happy. It's about shedding the layers that have been placed upon you. It's about unlearning the things that tell you who you should be, and instead, listening to the voice inside that has always known who you really are. I remember the moment I started to shift. It wasn't an event or a single realization. It was more like the slow untying of knots that had been holding me back. I started to question the stories I had been telling myself for years. The story that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy, that I had to conform to someone else's vision of success. The more I let go of these stories, the more I began to feel myself, to feel the essence of who I was before the world told me who I should be. There's a fear that comes with living as your true self, a fear of rejection, a fear of standing out, a fear of being misunderstood. But I've come to realize that these fears are just illusions, barriers that keep you from embracing your full potential. The truth is, when you live authentically, you not only free yourself, but you also inspire others to do the same. Living as your true self doesn't mean everything will be easy. It doesn't mean the world will immediately open its arms to you. But it does mean you will begin to feel aligned with your purpose, with your truth. You will find peace, not in external validation, but in the quiet confidence of knowing who you are and that you're enough, just as you are. I know it's not always easy to step into this truth, especially when the world around you might not understand. But once you begin to live authentically, you will feel a sense of freedom that you've never known before. And when you embrace who you truly are, you will attract the people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your purpose. The world will respond to your authenticity, and you will begin to see the magic that unfolds when you live as your true self. Conclusion: embrace your path, illuminate the world. As you stand on the edge of your journey, looking forward into the unknown, it's easy to feel uncertain. The path ahead may seem unclear, and the fear of failure or rejection may cloud your vision. But I want to tell you this: you are not walking this path alone. Every step you take, every choice you make, is part of the greater tapestry of your life, a story that only you can write. Embracing your path doesn't mean it will always be easy. It doesn't mean there won't be challenges or moments of doubt. But it does mean that you're stepping into your power, into your purpose, and into a life that's true to who you are. There is something incredibly beautiful about aligning with your purpose and embracing your path with open arms. When you do, you will begin to illuminate the world around you. You have a unique gift, something that only you can offer to the world. Your experiences, your challenges, your passions, they all come together to form the perfect foundation for the life you are meant to live. When you embrace your path, you become a beacon of light for others. You inspire them to step into their own power, to live authentically, and to pursue their own truths. So don't hold back. Don't let fear, doubt, or uncertainty keep you from walking the path that is yours. Your story is important, and the world is waiting for you to step into it. Embrace the journey, trust yourself, and illuminate the world with your presence. The best part, you're not just lighting your own path, you're lighting the way for others too. The world is waiting for you to shine, so go ahead, step into your power, embrace your path, and let the world see the incredible light that only you can bring.